Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you to everybody joining us this morning live. WoodwardSports.com. Jeff Iafrate, Adam Beydoun joining you this morning. It was an interesting night of sports.
It was.
Monday Night Football, where, again, the referees have a difficult job. And I think replay should be in place to protect not only the players, but the refs. But last night happened.
That face mask to Goddard was
it was brutal.
Yeah, it was clear.
It was brutal. Pistons lose last night. Close game against Toronto.
Yeah.
We got a lot to talk about today. We got the John U. Bacon story coming up 8:15. Did want to touch on it yesterday. Of course, it's a victory Monday. There is nothing you can fit in on a Monday, really, when the Lions win.
True.
8:30. Jeff and I will tell you why the Lions might just end up picking in the top 5 without their own pick. Matthew Stafford concussion protocol. Cooper Kupp likely done until week 15, 16. Lots of discussion there. 8:45, College Football Playoff Committee will release their latest rankings tonight. Jeff and I will preview that. We got John Maakaron joining us top of the hour. Can't wait to talk to Doc. 9:15, the NFL Power Rankings. 9:30, we'll go around the NFL. And then, of course, 9:40. Sorry, Jeff. I'm sorry, buddy.
It's okay.
You lost.
Yeah.
It's all right. Take it on the chin.
Yep. Antonio Gibson squeaked by. It's all right. You live and you learn. But at least I didn't suffer as heartbreaking of a loss as you did.
Nobody suffered the loss I suffered last night. I was destined to win. I was within 2.3 points. And all Dallas Goedert had to do was fall down and not get face masked, not get mauled, not get assaulted on the field. And he fumbled. And the 2.3 points I would have got turned into -2.
And you never know if Quez held onto that ball and that drive was extended.
Well,
they had another red zone opportunity. But
well, I lost.
Two fumbles.
Lost by less than 2 points, and I am disgusted this morning. Having said that, the Pistons lose to the Toronto Raptors. Jeff, we'll start with Jaden Ivey. Jaden Ivey continues, again, to show star potential. And this is what you want to see when Cade's out of the lineup, right? You want to see him being more assertive.
Yeah.
Bogdanovich has been a godsend. I mean, what a signing. I think teams around the league not only are calling about him, they're now regretting not even entertaining the idea of getting him. It is one of Weaver's best moves, in my opinion. Glad they extended him early. He's been arguably their best player this season.
Yeah, he's been their most, at least, I'll watch what I say here. I was going to say consistent, but he struggled again the last 2 previous games. But again, Beydoun is just a veteran, man. And especially how the starting lineup was last night. They did make some changes, inserting Marvin Bagley, taking Sadiq out, moving him to the bench, the second unit, because he's been struggling. At least that's kind of the MO there. And again, he went to the bench last night, had 9 points. Pistons fall to 3-12, and it's funny because last year they were 4-11. But I got to provide some context there. They did have Jeremy Grant, and again, whatever you want to say about Jeremy Grant, he does provide that defensive versatility that they kind of lacked this year. They replaced him with Beydoun, who offensively, great player, but when he's not shooting the ball well, it gets hard because he can't defend. So that's kind of the reality you're dealing with. But for Jaden Ivey, the last 2 games, he's averaging 23.5 points, 5.5 assists, 4 rebounds over the last 2 games without Cade. So he's playing well. He's stepping up. Now, he made some mistakes down the stretch last night for a rookie. That's expected. He has to individually learn how to close games because especially when he's the man like he was last night and all the defensive attention's focused on Ivy, he's got to learn to kind of down the stretch have that composure. But, excuse me, overall, you can't really complain with Jaden Ivey and how he's been playing as of late. I mean, he's been playing well. They do miss Cade. I mean, that's not a breaking news. I mean, he's super important for what they want to do. But moving forward, I'm not going to sit here and overreact. I think the bigger thing to take away is Killian Hayes and how well he's played over the last couple games. I've watched Killian even yesterday, you see him turn the ball over. The next minute, he's going down the floor. He takes a mid-range shot. He makes it. Like, that's the confidence that Killian's playing with. Is, in previous games, he'd have the turnover, and then that would kind of lead, or that would spiral into other things. But Killian, as of late, getting a bigger opportunity, a bigger role without Cade. He stepped up. He's played better. And again, this is what I've talked about, right, all season. I never questioned Killian's ability. It was always mentally. How can he overcome these things? How can he regain that confidence? And what I've seen out of Killian over the last couple of games, man, he's uber confident. It's amazing to see. It really is. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise he's getting these opportunities with Cade out.
Yeah, he's given you the last 3 games. I would say the Boston game was his best, right?
Oh, no question.
It was done in, 10, 12 minutes less than what he typically would play the following games, right?
Yeah, and that was that.
So that was 16-2-1 with a steal. That was great. 11-3, 6 and 7. That was nice. 15, 6 and 7 against Boston again. Jeff, he's been playing well.
Yeah.
But then he gives you 6, 3 and 2 as the starting point guard. So what do I take away, right? 3 days ago, we're probably having a conversation about Killian Hayes really heading in the right direction, looking like he's blossoming a little bit. And then last night, he only plays 24 minutes, and I swear to God, Dwayne Casey and Corey Joseph, this love fest. Look, I don't know what's going on. I really don't.
Yeah, luckily, I shouldn't say luckily, but Corey Joseph.
Excuse me, I meant Alec Burks. Sorry.
Alec Burks, hey, he and this is something we talked about as well. Alec Burks and Marvin Bagley returning to the lineup. It's just frustrating that this team hasn't been able to play complete. I mean, Burks and Bagley come back, Cade gets injured. Like, you want to see everybody collectively together. But again, if you want to have some takeaways, I think Burks is a guy that I would like to see a future with this team. I mean, he's reliable, comes off the bench, he plays like a veteran, he could shoot, and he was kind of running that point guard spot off the bench without no Cade. So Burks played well. Diallo, if that's what you're frustrated with, I think a lot of people would be as well. Because Diallo, to me,
he can't do anything except run fast and attack the basket.
Yeah, he's uber athletic, but
he's just an athlete.
He can't space the floor, right? The spacing's terrible. Some of his decision-making last night, it was a little questionable. So when Cade comes back, Killian's going to squeeze Diallo out of the rotation. So we're just waiting for that.
I don't know. Am I missing something with Dwayne Casey? How do you give me 13 minutes of beef stew, 19 of Duren? I know beef. I understand,
yeah.
But I mean, 19 minutes only for Duren, and you're going out there against Siakam and company, and you can't put out a 5. I'm not understanding this. Again, we did this last year, and I'm trying not to lose my shit this early in the year, but this is the stuff from Dwayne Casey that drives me nuts. This right here, 19 minutes. You gave Diallo just as many minutes, almost, as Jalen Duren, who's your only available 5, basically.
Yeah, and at times Duren was, getting a little bit in foul trouble, but to your point,
what do you know? Only 10 shots? That's great.
Isaiah Stewart making both of his threes. He's playing well. He had 9 points in 13 minutes, and then he has that foot injury, or it might be more than a foot, to be honest with you. We'll wait and report. But that's never good too, because you're waiting on Cade to get back. Isaiah gets hurt. They already lack. I mean, they don't have a ton of depth. They have Nerlens Noel that can come in and help out, but he's not Isaiah Stewart. He can't space the floor. So they're dealing with some injuries. But, again, this is a Raptors team that came in without God, excuse me again.
Siakam,
without Siakam, no Gary Trent.
Gary Trent, that's the other guy.
Yep, they didn't have Gary Trent, no Siakam. They're missing some players, but they were still able to step up and outplay the Pistons at home.
It was really...
and that's the frustrating part is they're 3-5 at home. All 3 of their wins come at home. I mean... They're gonna. It's kind of like we're having both these teams, like the Lions and the Pistons. When are they gonna get a road win? I mean, different situations, but it seems like both those teams.
I'm not sure what to make of it, because if you look at the box score, there's good things and then there's really bad things. Saddiq Bey, again, 31 minutes, only 10 shots. You're taking what, a shot every 3 minutes? That's not ideal. What are you doing? With Cade Cunningham out of that lineup, he should be your 1 or 2 scorer. Depends on where you want to place Ivy, because Bogdanovich is your most consistent player. Yeah. I don't get it. I don't get the rotations. I don't get giving Diallo 17 minutes. Livert's 23. Livert's taking as many 3-point attempts as Saddiq Bey. Again, maybe I'm being a bit harsh right now. I don't get it. I don't get it. And you know what? They are missing Cade Cunningham, but I could make the same case for Toronto. Marvin Bagley, nice to see him get almost 30 minutes. That was good.
Yeah, it was much needed for him to have that performance. But overall, they just couldn't shoot last night, man. And
they couldn't hit their shots.
No, they couldn't.
32% from three. Again, free throw. They got to the line 43 times.
And it's just ironic, too, that you lose to Nick Nurse, the man who replaced Dwayne Casey in Toronto. And Toronto comes to Detroit with probably a pretty comparable roster, if you want to put it quite frankly. I mean, Delano Batten, who's starting for Toronto, he's like 6'7" point guard. I'm watching the TV. I'm like, who is this kid? He's a second-year player, and he had 27 points last night. So it just seems like Toronto got more out of their guys, especially their young guys. And I got to say this, too. Scotty Barnes, 34 minutes, 8 points. 5 rebounds, 4
He's
assists.
better than Kate. Shut up, Jeff.
What a performance by Scotty Barnes. MVP-esque performance.
You're such a troll.
But no, listen, they lose a close one. They had opportunities to win it down the stretch. They scored 34 in the fourth quarter.
One team
they
shot
just
98% from the free throw line, the other 72.
And
that was the game.
That was the game.
That was the game. It's that simple. You missed 12 free throw attempts, I believe. You lost by 4. Think about that. They missed 1.
Yeah.
That's the game. Story of the game. Unfortunate. The Pistons keep finding ways to lose. When we get back, we got to talk about the John U. Bacon story. What the hell happened on the Michigan State sideline? That and so much more. But before we do, I got to tell you about our good friends over at Planet Fitness, home of the judgment-free zone. You can get started at Planet Fitness today for $10 a month. Take your physical and mental health seriously. Get in the gym, start working out, start taking care of your body, and it will take care of you. Again, your fitness is essential. Sign up today by visiting them in-store or checking them out at planetfitness.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
At Alta, uptime matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. If you have a big project coming up, well, Alta Rent has you covered. Call them today, 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
All right, we are back here on the Morning Woodward Show, 8:14 live, woodwardsports.com. Whew. All right, this is a lot.
We haven't talked about this, by the way.
No.
Off the air, so I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it.
All right, let's start with this. We all remember the Michigan State game. Michigan absolutely kicked Michigan State's ass, and unfortunately what followed after the game was an unfortunate incident in the tunnel, which since has had multiple players suspended from the Michigan State side, and now you have an investigation that's still ongoing. Players are still suspended, and there is no clarity when it comes to what's next. And I find that very annoying 2 weeks removed from the fact, but this is where things get, I would say, toxic. And to quote John U. Bacon, he says, the witness concludes by saying, quote, I will say it was the most toxic and hate-filled sideline I have ever been a part of, and it starts with the head coach, the staff, and players follow his lead. I have never seen anything like that. Mel Tucker spent the entire game arguing with officials. He looked very agitated and never accepted the officials' explanation. Usually after the clock hits 0, the referees sprint off the field. The game this time they stayed to break the players up on the field. While leaving the field, the head referee was confronted by an MSU staff member. That staff member then calls the referee I'll let you guys go read that and figure it out.
What about the bigger point he made about that is Kevin Warren and the relationship with his son?
Well, his son plays for MSU, and look, that to me is
you think he should have excused himself from...
Probably, but not. Again, his son wasn't.
I don't think he was at the forefront of.
I'm not sure if that's the move this morning. What I have an issue with first is the accusations on the Michigan State sideline.
Yeah.
Let's start number one. Number one, this has never happened before under a Mel Tucker coach team. Hell, even on any Michigan State coach team. This is not a program historically known for its lack of character, a lack of emotional control. No, that's not what Michigan State is. Michigan State has always been, I would say, a very respected program. They've always been disciplined. Now, every team makes mistakes. Coaches make mistakes. 100% this always happens. But where you lose me a bit, is by saying it was a hate-filled sideline. Yeah, I hope so. Fuck! I hope the Michigan sideline was hate-filled. Are we serious? This is the rivalry game for these two schools. Ann Arbor, East Lansing, once a year, end of October, this is it. This is, quote, I don't want to say the game, that's Ohio State, but you guys get what I'm saying here. This is one of the biggest games of the year. Michigan had not won in 2 years. They had lost the previous 2 meetings. This was a very important game for them. Very important. I hope Michigan's sideline was just as frustrated as Michigan State's. Having said that, to say it was hate-filled and the coach was complaining about the referee and he never accepted a decision... I've never watched any coach on the sideline sit there and say, you know what, ref, you're right, 100%. That was DPI. You know what, that was holding on our team. Yep, you're right, coach. Excuse me, you're right, ref. You're right. You got it right. Every coach, including Harbaugh, to Dabo, to Urban Meyer, it doesn't matter who it is. Nick Saban, they all chew out the referees.
You're gonna hold them accountable.
So I'm kind of lost in this story. I'm kind of lost because I'm not sure what conclusion we're trying to draw. What? The Michigan State program is suddenly full of thugs? I'm not following the story.
I love this part, too, when it says, I have never seen anything like that. Mel Tucker spent the entire game arguing with the officials. He looked very agitated.
Well,
never
there was
accepted.
that, and then there was the more egregious part, which we haven't even brought up yet, which is...
That's the...
Blake Corum. Oh, break his knees. Break his arms.
Now that's a different
Again...
thing.
Can you confirm that it was an offensive coordinator, a defensive coordinator, a player, Mel Tucker himself? That hasn't been confirmed yet. It very well could be a spectator on the sideline. A spectator. You are allowed field passes, by the way. There are people that have no affiliation to the team on the sidelines. So, again, the story is mind-boggling to me. Because I don't think... For a second, and you know what? Maybe I am wrong. I doubt it, though. I doubt I'm wrong on this one. 0 chance. Mel Tucker, Hazelton, that whole team, that whole staff, they're all sitting in the locker room like, you know what? The only way we can win this game is if we break Blake Corum's leg. And that is not a thing in professional sports.
What?
Collegiate sports, high school sports. That's not a thing. And when it is, and it's happened before.
Yeah, I'm sure that
when it is, that is a disgusting culture. It is not what the game is about. And your job is to get your hands on this individual and stop him. Not kill him, not end his career. That's all hearsay BS talk.
It's like Sean Payton paying players to go carry out hits in games.
That is different.
I know, but I'm just saying.
I didn't see Mel Tucker on the sideline waving a $100 bill. Hey, whoever breaks his leg! The story just confuses me.
It's not a good look, though.
It's not, though. That's the problem. And if I'm a Michigan fan, I'm sitting here like, get your shit together, Michigan State. What's wrong with you guys? Honestly, you were 11-2 last year. Yeah, you're having a bad year. That is unacceptable. And nobody can apologize for what happened in the tunnel. That is disgusting.
There was nothing coming out last year.
And what, on the sideline, they were upset. So what? every sideline is upset. I bet you Michigan was just as heated all those years ago when they were losing every single year to Ohio State. They would be heated on the sideline. The difference is Michigan didn't go into the locker room and assault an Ohio State player after the fact. That's the problem here. So I want to focus on that instead of all this hearsay of, oh, well, the sideline was toxic, and I heard some crazy things on the sideline. Have you ever played football, guys? I'm sure you've all talked smack. Yeah. Have you all not heard crazy things happen not only on the field but on the sideline?
Yeah, the referee comments, those things, that doesn't really faze me as much as the intent to try and ruin someone's career. I'm
just trying to draw the line between what happened and what this, to me, is a non-story.
He said, she said, yeah.
Because I don't have evidence, and I work on evidence. I have evidence of the video in the tunnel. I have evidence that 8 players have been suspended since that have been identified. That's my evidence right now. That's it. To tell me, he said, she said, on a sideline, that is quite the accusation. That it's on Mel Tucker. It starts with him. It's his culture. I didn't see him doing it at Colorado. I didn't see him during the COVID year have this issue. I didn't see him last year have this issue.
When they were winning.
Now, yes, Mel Tucker deserves to be put on the spotlight. He's not absolved from this. But I think we're reaching a bit here with this conversation. You want to talk to me about what happened in the tunnel and how the players should be suspended? It should be done. The decision should be made by now. I am 100% with all of you. 100%.
But that was on video as well. So you saw that video.
We know what happened.
Yeah.
To come out after the fact, that would be equivalent to saying, gosh, after the Niners-Lions game all those years ago, Jim Schwartz was on the sideline swearing at the refs, saying he's going to kill Jim Harbaugh when he sees him. And then he goes up, gives him the firm handshake, and then he wants to chase after him. That's all hearsay. What are we doing? Prove something to me. Doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't. And I really doubt, and I hope I'm right, because I would be very disappointed if I'm wrong. But I doubt bounty gates happening on that sideline. I doubt the intention after the game was to assault and jump a Michigan player. That's not Michigan State's program. That's not its history. And you don't need to be a fan of either program to realize that. I'm not following here.
But doesn't mean it can't happen.
Sure. That is very true, but it's he said, she said right now.
Right. And I agree with you on that. That's why I said the referee, barking at the referees or making those, the comments that were listed by John U. Bacon, that doesn't really move me as much as the Sean Payton-esque bounties, or just going out there and being like, break Blake Corum's legs, or break J.J. McCarthy's arm, whatever that was said. Now, if those things are true, that's different. You talk about a level of recklessness or being undisciplined. You can argue that, but the referee stuff didn't really concern me as much. But we'll see.
We'll have to wait and see. I'm very curious to see how this evolves. Definitely try to get Broom on tomorrow, hopefully, and get his thoughts on this whole situation. But we are more than 2 weeks now removed. This should have been settled already. But, again, we'll have to wait and see. Coming up, the Lions might end up with not only a top 10 pick, maybe multiple, maybe a top 5 pick that may not be their own. I'll tell you guys why coming up next, why the Rams are in big, big trouble. But before we go, I want to pivot a little bit, Jeff, on this conversation. We've talked about the incident, right? Let's look what's happened since, right? Both teams are 2-0. Big wins for Michigan State. Mm-hmm. You want to talk about a guy that has a grip on his locker room, his team, his players? Mel Tucker. Do I think what happened in the tunnel was disgusting, pathetic, borderline assault? Yes.
Yeah.
It was. I'm just trying to draw the line between when do we look at the individual and then also when do we hold those who are responsible for them accountable, right? Because Mel Tucker is responsible. And you do this as a coach almost every game. Hey, this is how we're coming in. This is how we're going out, right? You have a grip on your players. And I think heat of the moment, the coaches lost the grip on their players, and the players lost their cool. And that's what happened. What happened, and it'll be dressed with. But That is brutal, man. It's a bad look for not only Michigan State, but the Big Ten, college football. You don't want that. That's not part of the sport. So, again, everything John wrote, interesting.
And John's pretty credible. I mean, if we're going to say it pretty bluntly, I don't think he'd be making all this stuff up.
Yeah, but I find a lot of it he said, she said, instead of, I was on the sideline and I heard this. Okay, great. I was sitting front row for the Minnesota Vikings game like 7-8 years ago, and I heard some random player scream, something along those lines. Well, what does that mean? Does that mean the intent is there? Oh, we're going to go out there and break Adrian Peterson's leg? No. Stop it. Oh, God.
And then there was the assault with a deadly weapon after the game, so it probably doesn't help. Well, we'll see. This stuff will all unfold soon, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see.
Find out the truth or the extent of it, because it is disgusting. It really is.
They lost their cool because U of M antagonized them, obviously. I'm not saying Michigan State isn't guilty of what they did, but U of M also has to take some accountability from being where they shouldn't have been. John Ubakin even said in these reports that are official, he didn't look into all of these either. Yep, Jesse, it's a very good point. Tuck about to be driving his fancy cigar smoke out of Michigan State. No, Nicholas, I don't see that happening anytime soon. Again, these are young adults. What happened in that tunnel was really, really disturbing. And those players should be suspended. And I am not a lawyer, and neither are any of you claiming assault or prison or any of this crap you want to talk about in the chat. We're not doing that this morning. I'm not a lawyer. I don't have a deep understanding of the legal system. I'm not going to tell you what it is and what it isn't. All I know is it was disturbing, and something needs to change. And something needs to happen also. There has to be repercussions, whether it's for the program, whether it's for the coaches, whether it's for the players. Something needs to happen. We're 2 weeks out now. We'll continue to play the wait and see game. But when we get back, Jeff, let's talk about the Lions. Endless possibilities for where they could be selecting this year in the upcoming NFL draft, thanks to the Rams now losing their best player, Cooper Kupp, on the offensive side of the ball. But before we go, I got to tell you about my good friends at The Butchery. I mean, this is not only the best food you can get your hands on, but this is some quality meat. The official meat supplier of Woodward Sports Network. Call 248-682-COWS. That's 248-682-COWS. Or order at online. Shipping is included for Woodward Sports customers. The Butchery meats, eats, and treats. Sandwiches to die for, Wagyu meats, artisan breads, inspired by the legendary Chef Dave. We'll see you guys in just a little bit.
For a limited time only, all new burgers and loaded fries at Big Boy. It's not a Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. Guess what else is new? The bacon blue. How about upgrading those fries? Chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, nacho fries. What will it be? Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
My name is Lee. I've lost 35 pounds on the Custom Health Center program. So the three biggest benefits that I've gotten from this program has been I'm not snoring anymore, I have a lot of energy, it's great, and oh, by the way, look at this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Woodward Sports wants to send you and your crew front row for the Thanksgiving Day football game. That's right, you and three people that you're thankful for sitting front row. All you have to do is retweet or share our post on Instagram and tag your three friends. That's right, Twitter and Instagram. Tag three of your friends or family members that you want to take with you, and you will enter for a chance to win front row tickets. Make sure you're following Woodward Sports. And as always, this awesome giveaway is brought to you by our good friends over at Lady Jane's and Custom Health Centers. We are back here on the Morning Woodward Show. Live, woodwardsports.com. Jeff, let's talk about this trade. Right? Not too long ago, the Detroit Lions, before ever setting foot on a field with Dan Campbell, before ever having a draft with Brad Holmes.
It was his first. I think it was Brad's first move as soon as he got into the front office.
They trade Matthew Stafford
Yep.
for Jared Goff and 2 first-round picks. Cool. The Rams and Stafford last year go on and really end the season on a hot streak, get hot right around the time of the playoffs. They make a run. They win the Super Bowl. They accomplish their goal. Cool. And the Lions, when they traded for Goff and acquired those 2 picks, their goal was to make their team significantly better with multiple first-round picks. So you saw the first time they ever used one of those picks, and that was on Jameson Williams. Unfortunately, you haven't seen him on the field yet, but you are now seeing this trade play out. And it's playing out really one of 2 ways you thought it would. 1, the Rams would contend and drop off, or 2, the Rams would contend and sustain it, and you would have 2 late first-round picks. Still better than none, right? But now the drop-off is happening, and this is where things get exciting. Matthew Stafford can't stay upright. The Rams have one of the worst offensive lines in the league. They have one of the worst run games in the league. With no Cooper Kupp, they are throwing to some white kid and Allen Robinson, who's hot trash, along with Tyler Higbee. They have no offense. On the defensive side of the ball, God bless them, Aaron Donald, Floyd, Jalen Ramsey, they're doing their best.
But they're not on the same page.
They can't win.
Yeah.
They would have to give up 10 points a game to have a chance to win.
Bobby Wagner.
And that's not happening. It's not happening. This team has regressed completely on offense, and they have no shot, in my opinion, of getting to 7 wins. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking this is a 6-11 football team, potentially 5-12, depending on Cooper Kupp's return. The Rams are in bad shape. The Rams are in bad shape. And they're going to lose a lot of games, Jeff. And this isn't going to stop. This isn't just, a bad 3-week stretch. This isn't, it's the NFL. Right now they're struggling. They'll pick it back up. They got the Saints, the Chiefs, the Seahawks, the Raiders, the Packers, the Broncos, the Chargers, and the Seahawks. They're going to split with the Seahawks if they're lucky. They'll probably beat the Saints.
Maybe.
I'll give them the Raiders. And every other game, they should be underdogs. They should be underdogs against the Chiefs, underdogs against the Packers on the road, underdogs against the Chargers on the road, underdogs against Seattle on the road. And I would say even money against the Broncos. That's the reality. That's what we're talking about. This is a team down the stretch that could finish, I think, 6-11 or 5-12. It's not getting any better, Jeff. Help's not coming. Trade deadline's over.
Yeah.
OBJ's not saving this team. Cooper Kupp is down for the next 4, 5, 6 weeks.
That's your offense.
They are going to continue to lose. And that means the Detroit Lions likely will have 2 top 12 picks, depending on where the Lions go the rest of the year. But I don't want to worry about that right now. I want to talk about the Rams. This Rams pick likely will turn into a top 12 pick, Jeff. What do you do with it? Now you start talking about endless possibilities, right? If I were to tell you right now that you were picking 5th and 9th, you know who that reminds me of? The Giants. Evan Neal, Kayvon Thibodeau, 5-7. You know who that reminds me of? The New York Jets, 4-10. Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson.
Yep.
Detroit. Just, again, I don't want to do the draft show today. Hear me out. I'm not trying to sell you on the draft. I'm selling you on reality. I'm telling you what reality is. The reality right now, the Rams suck, and so does your team. But your team's on a 2-game win streak. So I can't say anything bad about them right now. They've won 2 consecutive games. That's all I've asked this coach to do. He's done it. Zip. Having said that, as of right now, you have 2 picks in the top 12. you're in great shape. And you want to talk about changing a team? Boy, it must be nice to draft a Sauce Gardner and a Garrett Wilson, a Kayvon Thibodeau, and a Evan Neal. You will have that option this year, Jeff. Whether it's Jalen Carter and your franchise quarterback, or I don't care who. You have that opportunity. The Lions can get significantly better, along, by the way, with 2 second-round picks, along with 2 third-round picks. Again, I don't want to do the draft show, but can you not see it in front of you? This is your reality. I don't see how the Rams win more than 6 games, unless you think otherwise.
No, I'm with you. I'm just looking at their picks currently. They have 4 picks in the top 62 as we speak right now. And the Lions legitimately have a chance. As of right now, as it stands, they have 2 of the best players, or at least 2 of the top 11 best players in the NFL draft. Like right now, they're mocked 8, the Rams pick is, and the Lions pick sits at 11 currently. Right now, the top 3 stands is Houston 1. This mock draft has them taking C.J. Stroud. And then the Raiders, number 2. This mock draft has them taking Bryce Young. And then the Panthers 3. And they're taking Will Anderson. So right now, this mock draft, just to have some fun with it, I'll read to you guys who the Lions take. At 8, Will Levis goes 7 to the Seahawks. Interesting. And then 8, the Lions draft Keely Ringo out of Georgia, which is a great pick. And then at 11, you're going to love this, Adam. At 11, they go Michael Mayer, tight end out of Notre Dame. So they they get their tight end, which honestly I completely disagree with that one. I'd much rather see a defensive lineman or edge, whatever you need. But yeah, I'd rather than a tight end. But anyway, how it stands is the Lions are in a great position. And we talked about, would you rather them have a top 5 pick or would you rather them improve, get to 6-7 wins? Lions have a legitimate shot to do both. They can improve, and if the Rams continue to suck, as they've been trending downwards, because don't forget, even with Cooper Kupp, even with Matthew Stafford, they weren't winning games. Now you have a Matthew Stafford who's coming off a concussion. You have Cooper Kupp probably out 4 to 6 weeks. It was a high ankle sprain. That's typically the timetable for that. We'll see. He was 80% of their offense, so that's a big deal. The Rams are trending downwards, and that's good for the Lions. You have an opportunity to have 2 top 11 picks. We'll see how it trends. I don't think the Lions, when it's all said and done, they'll probably be top 13, I would say.
Let's say it was today.
At the best.
Let's say it ended today. Okay?
You have 2 in the top 11.
You have 8 and 11. Who are you taking at 8? And
I actually
who can be there?
It would be, I like what they did in this mock. I like Keely Ringo, corner out of Georgia.
Really? I would take a chance on Miles Murphy.
Well,
interior lineman out of Clemson.
In this one, he goes 6th, but if you have a chance, I'm with you. I would go Miles Murphy.
Okay.
If you want to go edge rusher, that's completely fine.
And then at 11, who do they got you taking?
Michael Mayer. Tight end out of Notre Dame.
Shut the who wrote this stupid mock draft?
This is tankathon.com. They're just
Tankathon?
Yeah, it's auto mocked.
Fucking assholes.
I don't think it's the top of the line experts making
Stupid
this, but
asses.
After Michael Mayer, there's Bijan, Jackson Smith, Quentin Johnson, Isaiah Foskey out of Notre Dame. Wouldn't mind
What's
that
wrong
pick as
with
well.
Notre Dame? You have this
Joey
hatred
Porter,
towards Notre Dame.
Corner out of Penn State. So, again, I would probably go back-to-back defensive players unless the Lions have a trade package to try and trade up. Maybe you throw in a second round, a future first-round picks, and you can move up to get your quarterback. But as it stands, Adam,
and this is a great spot to be in. Now, of course, you want that Rams pick to get higher and higher and higher. And look, let's be honest about the Lions. On the road to MetLife, home to the Bills. If you split, I think we have to stop this tanking, notion, which I'm not a fan of. Because if you tank, you're going to lose your head coach, and that means he sucks, and it's not going to work, right?
Right.
So let's just all be real about this for a second. You can't have it both ways. You can't tank and then like your head coach and believe in him. That's not how it works, okay? So once we figure that out, I think we'll all be on the same page. Cool? Mm-hmm. Great. Having said that, you go 0-2 and you fall to 3-8, and then you have the remaining schedule that is what it is. I think then you probably have the conversation after week 13, week 14. Then you can maybe start talking to me about the draft and tanking and, draft position. The reality is, do you believe in this coach, Jeff? Do you believe he can be a head coach in the future that you can ride with? And why I'm asking you this is because if you believe in him, you shouldn't care about draft position. But if you don't believe in him, then I believe you have, as an individual, it's your opinion, all of you can have it. If you don't believe in him, then you should care about the draft position. That's just my opinion.
Same thing goes for Brad. If you truly believe Brad can identify talent in the draft, which I do, then I'm not as concerned where they select.
We're on the same page with Brad. Where I'm at with Dan Campbell, he's won 2 games in a row.
Right.
I am not in a position right now to kind of throw him out the door and kick him out, right?
No.
Not going to do that. Am I sold on him? Absolutely not. But I don't have to worry about him right now. Do I think he projects into this top 10, top 8 head coach? You guys want my opinion? Fine. Yeah, no, I don't. I just don't think so. But I hope he proves me wrong. And so far, for 2 weeks in a row, I don't have to talk about him. And I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So, keep it going. Do I think it's sustainable? Doesn't matter what I think at this point. But when we talk about draft picks, I look at the Rams. They will continue to lose games. I'm not sure how you fix an offensive line mid-season anymore. Hell, way past mid-season now.
Yeah,
you don't fix the wide receiving core you have. You don't fix the run game. You're going to be lining up Cam Akers in the slot pretty soon. Hell, Tyler Higbee may line up at running back. They have no options. They have no depth. The Rams will continue to lose. And really the whole point of me saying this is gear up, Detroit. Because this offseason is going to be a very interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
You thought picking what? 2 and 32 was nice? Wait till you pick in the top 10 with a pick that wasn't even yours. And now who knows where the Lions finish, right? Do they finish 4 and 13 or do they finish 6 and 11? I don't know. I don't know right now. That is just a what if. But if they finish 4 and 13, you probably have 2 picks in the top 7. And if they finish 6 and 11, you probably have 2 picks in the top 11, top 12. Depends where the NFL goes, right? I can't really project that right now. But the point is, holy hell, gear up. That Matthew Stafford trade is really looking great right now for you.
And we're
It's really my whole point.
And we're going to see what's available, too, because if you look at the draft right now, and this is kind of where I see it trending. I mean, you have the first 3 picks are all teams that need a quarterback, or at least would consider taking a quarterback. C.J. Stroud, number 1 to Houston. I see Houston still trending downward. I think they'll keep, 1,
they're going to
2,
get
or
that
3.
First overall pick.
And they're taking a quarterback. And then number 2 would be the Raiders right now. I could see them taking a quarterback. But if they want to keep Derek Carr, maybe they take Will Anderson. Number 3, Carolina, they're going to be in that same spot, or at least around that spot. They're taking a quarterback. So, honestly, that thought of the Lions drafting a quarterback.
Why is Will Levis still in the top 5?
I'm not the guy to ask. Trust me, you know how I feel about Will Levis. I don't get it. He's 7 in this mock draft, going to Seattle, so we'll see. But, again, as much as Lions fans can sit here and say, I'm sick of Goff, I'm sick of seeing Goff, the reality is you might not be in a position to be able to trade up. Not that Brad couldn't, but the teams aren't going to be willing to trade back.
But let's be real.
And
how many teams have traded up 8, 10, 7 spots?
I mean, the most recent.
And won the trade, though.
Won the trade, yeah.
Remember the Redskins traded up for RG3. That didn't work out.
No, it didn't.
The Niners, they traded up for Lance. That's not working out right now.
Not so far. So
that pick is a bust right now. Yes, a bust. That is a bust pick.
That's the risk.
That's the 3rd overall pick.
That's the risk.
That you traded up for. It is a bust. But, again, the context to it, the 49ers are a well-built team. They went all in on their future franchise quarterback. I respect the move. Don't get me wrong. But right now, it is a bust. Because I have yet to see him play because he's injured right now.
It's different if you take a guy when he falls to you
and when I have
rather
seen him,
than trade up 3
and
first-round picks to take him.
And when I have seen him, he's looked pedestrian at best.
Yeah. The pressure's...
Herbert, you didn't trade up for Herbert. You didn't trade up for Tua. You didn't trade up for Burrow. You didn't trade up for Mahomes. Oh, excuse me. The Chiefs did, actually. They traded to 10, right?
A couple spots. Yeah, it wasn't
And then
ridiculous.
Houston, 12, Watson. The Ravens traded into the end of the first round for Lamar.
See, it's different.
The Packers stayed put at 24 for
Like, if the
Rodgers.
Lions traded up and took Bryce or CJ, you bet they have you got a red dot sight on how those quarterbacks perform. It's just more pressure.
That's the risk. And you know what? We talked about Jeff Okudah. We'll bring him up in the second hour. But going into this year, he has been a bust for you so far. Injured, unavailable, and when he's played, he hasn't looked any good. As the 3rd overall pick, that is a missed pick. And you know what? To this day, it still is. And that's not his fault, and it's not the coach's fault, and it's not this regime's fault.
Right.
But that's just the reality of the pick.
And just
if Trey Lance isn't their franchise quarterback, you know what he is, Jeff? A fucking bust. That's what he is.
That is what he'd be. And just before we go to break, just to give context, Hendon Hooker, for all the Hendon Hooker fans, he went 23 to the Jets. Interesting. And then
Jets need a quarterback too.
And then Anthony Richardson, you'll love this, Lions fans.
God.
He goes 42 to the Detroit Lions.
Jeff,
I'll
honestly,
pass on
sometimes
Anthony.
when you say things, I really don't want to hear them.
I'll pass on Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, Malik Willis. Where's the Malik Willis crowd? Draft the number 2.
Yeah, so
some of the best moments I've had doing this show.
Point being, if you're taking a quarterback late, give me Hendon Hooker. I'll pass.
I'm with Nico on here. Draft Jake Moody. I'm down to draft Jake Moody in the 4th or 5th round.
Yeah, me too.
Now, that's an NFL kicker. I'm just saying. Forget your bias. I don't care who you are. That's a legit NFL kicker. He walks into the league day one. He's a kicker. 55 plus, easy.
He's
money.
Yeah, he is.
Having said that, let's take a quick break. When we get back, the College Football Playoff Committee will release their top 25 rankings tonight. Can't wait for it. Jeff and I will talk through the top 10, what we believe will happen, that and so much more. But before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at the Sports Marketing Agency.
The Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the S Word, helps fight the stigma about seeking help. If you or someone you know is struggling, head to thesportsma.com for more information.
Thanksgiving is all about family and friends. That's why Woodward Sports wants to send you and your crew front row for the Thanksgiving Day football game.
Easy there. Hey, it's Thanksgiving. Shouldn't you be in Detroit losing a football game right now?
That's right, you and 3 people that you're thankful for sitting in row number 1. So close you can hear the action, smell the excitement, and taste the glory of Detroit football. All you have to do to enter is retweet or share our post on Twitter and IG and tag 3 of your friends or family. If all 3 of those people are following Woodward Sports too, and we pick your name, you and your crew will all get the best seats inside Ford Field. So hop on Twitter and Instagram and tag your crew. And we'll see you Thanksgiving Day at Ford Field. Brought to you by Lady Jane's and Custom Health Centers.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Bowling Warehouse in Hamtramck is the home of the original football bowling game. 2 to play for $12 unlimited open play, or you could pay $120 for a lane reservation for up to 10 people. $2 mystery beer machine, full bar. Check it all out.
BowlingWarehouse.com.
Thanks for being my hype man.
Got you, baby. What's up, everybody? We're back. 8:49.
What a great Tuesday.
Live on the morning show.
Beautiful
Great Tuesday morning.
Oh,
outside of me losing in fantasy football, which is whatever. Just going to ignore that. That Dallas Goedert fumble, man. Negated the points he got. Actually, I lost like 0.8 because it was a 3-yard catch, I think.
That's ridiculous.
Brutal, man.
And how much does a fumble lose? The fact
2
that
points. So he got 1.3. Yeah, if he wouldn't have fumbled,
you're hanging
I would
on.
have won.
You're hanging on.
Here I am. All right.
It's a face mask.
College Football Playoff Committee. As of right now, Georgia 1, Ohio State 2, Michigan 3, TCU 4. That's not changing. We all agree. Tennessee 5, we all agree that is not changing.
Until November 26th?
Of course,
Yeah.
but for now.
No,
for
yeah,
tonight's
it's not.
release, the top 5 stays put.
Yep. No question.
Oregon needs to drop. LSU goes up. USC goes up. Bama Clemson up. Psych. This is interesting. This is. Bama, big win against Ole Miss. The top 10 is really tricky. At this point, you got to put North Carolina in the top 10, right?
I agree. Yeah.
I think we're all on the same page.
They're only
whether
lost
it's at 9 or 10.
Yeah, their only loss is to Notre Dame. They're 18th right now. So
I think UNC deserves to be in the top 10. They're a one-loss team.
Yeah.
If I were to put out the rankings today, excuse me, I'm choking a little bit. If I were to put out the rankings today, my top 10, I would do Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, TCU, Tennessee, LSU, USC, Bama, North Carolina, Clemson. That'd be my top 10. And I'm itching to fit Utah in there because I love them, but I can't do it.
Yeah,
can't do it.
2-loss Utah.
I can't do it.
The interesting scenario, and I guess this would be a way that Michigan would get out, is TCU remains undefeated. Michigan loses to Ohio State, and you're deciding between Tennessee or Michigan, in which that case the tiebreaker would go to Tennessee. Because
Tennessee has the
best loss in the country.
They have the best schedule in the country.
And they beat Alabama.
Compared to any other one-loss.
They beat LSU as well.
Any other one-loss team they'd be going up against.
So Michigan's in a situation where they have one loss. They still might not make it, which, again, we say this every time we talk about it. The expansion needs to come quicker because there's too many eligible teams, or qualified teams, I should say.
Well, you know what? Honestly,
but that's the reality.
Honestly, though,
that's the reality.
If you look at that top 12, I'm not impressed. I
would love to see.
You go to the AP poll, the first 4 teams get a bye week. Cool. So you'd get Tennessee versus Oregon, LSU versus Penn State, USC versus Utah, Bama, Clemson. Okay. I mean, that sounds nice, but
yeah.
I don't think much of Oregon. I don't think much of Penn State. I like Utah, but they have 2 losses. Again, I can't wait personally for more football. Don't get me wrong. I am all for the 12-team playoff. But when we talk about the cream of the creme, it's really these 5 teams, man.
Yeah. And
it's not even close. You got 4 10-0 teams and one 9-1 team at the 5th spot. And that 9-1 Tennessee team is just waiting for Michigan or Ohio State to lose, and that's your playoff.
And you probably get.
And I told you TCU would win out. But what happens if TCU loses? Right now, you have the threat of 3 potential SEC teams getting in, or maybe a one-loss Pac-12 champion getting in. Who knows? USC would have to run the table. They are on the road at UCLA this week. That's a big matchup.
What if Clemson has 1 loss, but they win the ACC championship?
I don't respect Clemson. I don't.
Well,
I think they're getting way too much love for what they did under Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
That is not the same Clemson. They're in an awful ACC. I am just not interested in. I'm not, and I think North Carolina will beat them. I just do. So that's where I'm at. I want UNC in the top 10. I'd take them over Clemson. Oregon falls out of the top 10. Again, my top 10 would be Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, TCU, Tennessee, LSU, USC, Bama. Damn. UNC, Clemson.
Okay.
And maybe Utah.
I think that's fair.
Maybe Utah slides in at 10. Who knows?
And TCU's schedule to end the year, they take on Baylor.
They're on the road to Baylor.
On the road to Baylor. Then they face Iowa State the following week. So I could see a situation where they go undefeated, and you're looking at that point, it's only going to be one Big Ten team.
Yeah, you know what? UNC's defense sucks. You know what, bro? So does TCU's defense. They suck, too.
Until they face Texas.
Defense sucks?
Then they look pretty good.
USC's defense sucks. LSU's defense at times has sucked this year. It's fine. Are we mad if TCU jumps Michigan? How so, Zach? In what scenario? Like just in the rankings right now?
If Michigan loses to Ohio State.
I don't see why you would. I don't think Michigan disappointed where you would take the road win against Texas for TCU and say they're better than Michigan.
But they also have, what, 3 or 4 ranked
wins. Or 4 ranked wins, excuse me. 1 quality on the road last week, Texas.
And the 4 were in a row as well.
And multiple road wins.
Just tougher schedule. I mean, I would give them the nod.
Yeah, again, but how much do you value those teams from when they played them to where they're at now? Because Kansas has fallen off. All these teams have fallen off that they've played. Oklahoma is a trash show. It's awful.
And how do you look at disparity? Like, Chuck brings up a good point. TCU has lots of close wins. Michigan wins are all easy wins.
Yes.
But does that put into context how bad the Big Ten is? The Big Ten is...
That's the semantics of this. It's difficult.
The committee has a tough job.
Would I be upset Wednesday morning if Michigan fell to 4? No. Why? They control their destiny at Ohio State. But what that tells me is, if you're going to punish Michigan that way, you damn sure better punish Ohio State. I don't care if they had the opening win against Notre Dame. If TCU is that impressive to you, committee, you move them up to 2. Because you're not going to leapfrog them over Michigan without doing it to Ohio State, in my opinion.
Very true.
Because they have a better resume than both teams combined. So I don't want to hear that. So no, I don't expect TCU to jump Michigan. Michigan dominated their game. They won the way they were supposed to. That is all you can do. They've controlled their destiny. Illinois this week, Ohio State the following, and then it gets really interesting.
Now, again, to Chuck's point, he says on WoodwardSports.com, if Michigan and TCU are both undefeated end of season, Michigan should be higher. Yeah, of course, because they beat Ohio State.
They beat Ohio State.
Yeah.
They have a way better win. They're Big Ten champions. And what would end up being if let's play this scenario out.
Okay.
If Georgia wins out, right? They beat LSU in the championship game. Number 1. Yep. Michigan wins out. They're number 2.
They're 2.
TCU wins out. They're number 3.
Yep.
Who is 4?
Tennessee.
Is it Tennessee?
It's Tennessee.
With the best resume in the country? Is it a one-loss USC Pac-12 champion? Is it a one-loss Clemson or UNC Pac-12 champion? Or is it a one-loss Ohio State, who lost to the undefeated Michigan Wolverines, who was the second, which would be, in my opinion, the second best loss in the country, only behind Tennessee to Georgia?
I would say Tennessee, because they have a bigger win, and they have the best loss.
And again, this is the weird part about college football.
2 big wins.
You are not rewarded for scheduling out-of-conference games. You are not. Mm-hmm. Why is Tennessee being talked about the way they are? Because they beat Saban and Bama. Because they beat LSU and
blew them
Brian
out.
Kelly. They mauled them.
At Baton Rouge.
But that's the conference. If the Big Ten was better than it was this year,
then you'd have more.
You'd be having
wins.
a different conversation.
Yeah, true.
So it really comes down to your conference sucks right now in the Big Ten, and you will get no respect. And the only way 2 Big Ten teams will get in is if a 2-loss Pac-12 champion runs the table and Tennessee loses. Because I'm not putting a 1-loss Clemson or UNC in there over Ohio State or Michigan. I'm not personally.
Mm-hmm.
But again, this is what happens.
Hey, remember what I said, too? Oregon. They wish they didn't play Georgia this year.
Yep,
so
because they would be a
trade-offs.
one-loss team right now, getting their first loss, still be in the top 10, and they would be able to move up and run the table the rest of the way. What do you know? You are not rewarded for scheduling hard out-of-conference games. Doesn't make any sense. When we get back, John Maakaron will be joining us this morning. The Doc. Can't wait. Top of the hour coming up. But before we go, I got to tell you about Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Lady Jane's open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk at any time. No appointment necessary. Their awesome stylists will take care of you like they take care of me. So get to a Lady Jane's near you. Again, walk in any time. It's wicked awesome.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zaniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Whether you're a player or a fan, helping you invest, buy, or sell is Michael Phillips' top priority. Being in the game for over 23 years makes Mike the number one option for you and your family. If you have real estate needs, call Michael Phillips and his awesome team at Keller Williams at 313-403-0011. That's 313-403-0011. We're back. Top of the hour. Live, woodwardsports.com. It's going to be a great second hour. I can't wait. And Alex, are we good to go? There is no better way to start a Tuesday morning, second hour of your show with the doc, John Maakaron. John, good morning. How you doing, buddy?
John!
I'm blessed. Good seeing you guys. Always enjoy the invite. Thank you for not making me wait 6 weeks to come back and talk about the Detroit Lions. I'm looking forward to it. You guys give me a lot of good energy, good shows as of late. And, hey, it's Victory Tuesday, Victory Monday. It's a good time to be a Detroit Lions fan.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. John, I'll start with this. 2 games in a row. The defense has made plays when they've had to. I think one of the most impressive things we've seen is Jeff Okudah's rise over the last few weeks, Aidan Hutchinson slowly rising, making key plays in key moments. That is not something you ever typically associate with not only any Detroit Lions team, but really this one under Dan Campbell, who prior to the 2-game winning streak were, 4-19-1?
Yeah, it is good, Adam and Jeff, that the Detroit Lions actually won these 2 games because people were starting to teeter a little bit, wondering about the coaching staff, wondering about the defense, really putting the heat on Aaron Glenn. I mean, his seat was getting really hot. So to be able to play the Packers and the Bears, and for the young players like Jeff Okudah, Aidan Hutchinson, Julian Aquara, Kirby Joseph, to play well really cemented that, okay, there's something building here. You're starting to look for the core. And I think one of the goals for a lot of the Lions fans this year, outside of wins, was can the young players develop? Can the coaching staff take a group of young men that they've drafted and can they move them along? Can they start to perform at a higher level? And they were able to. They're making plays. I mean, you see Aidan Hutchinson now with over 6 sacks this year. You see Kirby Joseph, multiple interceptions, and you're starting to see some of the young players develop at a high level and make plays. And Dan Campbell said it, that the only way this young core was going to learn to win close games was to be in close games and to come out on the other side with victory. So that is a big plus for this regime right now.
And John, too, all the criticism that Brad Holmes has faced this year, which, again, I mean, should he? That's a different conversation. For what he's drafted, and you've seen the picks so far with Kirby now getting better and better, Aidan Hutchinson, you have a ton of guys now that are shining from Brad Holmes and who he selected. What are your thoughts on Brad so far and the job he's done, and now rolling into another draft with Brad at the helm, possibly with 2 top 10 picks?
Yeah, guys. And here's the thing with sports, which is great, why I love being in it, why I love podcasting, writing at SI.com. It's great because people tend to be black and white. They say, okay, is Brad Holmes doing a great job or is he doing an awful job? Well, I personally feel like he's doing a decent job, but there is room for criticism. Look, the Lions have not been a winning program, so obviously they pick high. So do you really think that Brad Holmes deserves a significant amount of credit for drafting Aidan Hutchinson when he's sitting right there at number 2? He's a homegrown guy. So Brad Holmes get credit for finding the likes of Malcolm Rodriguez, Kirby Joseph in the later rounds. But at the same time, I can turn around and say, man, you could have an argument that if you don't trade for Jamison Williams, if you add a defensive playmaker to a team that needs defense, you could have more wins than being at 3-6. So the argument with Brad Holmes is not whether can he evaluate talent. Yes, he can evaluate talent. He learned under Les Snead with the Los Angeles Rams. The part where you can criticize and look at is if different moves were made, if different picks were selected, if he didn't draft Levi Onwuzurike in the 2nd round last year and you had a player that could actually see the field, maybe this rebuild that has been sold as a 3 to 4 year rebuild could be a 1.5 year rebuild, and the Lions could be sitting at 5-4, 6-3 right now. So you don't have to be black and white with Brad Holmes. You can like some of the young talent that he's bringing, but at the same time, you can criticize some of the decisions that he's making because I believe had certain decisions been made, the team could be further ahead. But for me, I'm looking at one decision when we move forward. What he decides to do at quarterback will define his legacy here in Detroit.
No, I can agree with that, too. I wanted to ask you, because not a lot of people have been talking about it, Aubrey Pleasant being announced as a secondaries coach for the Green Bay Packers. I guess he was interviewed right after the Lions beat the Green Bay Packers, which makes it even more a little suspicious. What are your thoughts on Aubrey Pleasant? Because you've seen after his departure the secondary respond and step up. Now, I'm not going to say it's because of, they let go Aubrey Pleasant, but they certainly responded to it. What are your thoughts on Aubrey now in the division, in the NFC North, and Brian Duker stepping up with that secondary? Because they've been playing well as of late.
Yeah, the surprise that came out is that Aubrey Pleasant, having a relationship with Michael LaFleur, is now going to be working with the offense. And he joked with local reporters that if he had focused on offense, he probably would be a head coach right now. Guys, it's just, and I know we'll talk about Jeff Okudah here in a few moments, but coaching defense in the National Football League is an uphill climb. The game is inherently set up for the offense with the rules for receivers. You can't touch a quarterback. You can't even sniff touching a quarterback without a flag being thrown. So for me personally, I give credit to Aaron Glenn and for all those coaches that choose to want to play on defense, coach on defense, because the league is heavily slanted in the other way. But Aubrey Pleasant has a relationship with Green Bay, so he took advantage of it. Look, sometimes when a coach gets dismissed, it rallies a team. The Lions had a closed-door meeting with the defense where some things were aired out, things were pointed out in regards to the play. And look, Aubrey Pleasant's a good coach, but Dan Campbell had said it, and it's probably true, that sometimes just opportunities don't work out. And for whatever reason, the communication wasn't where it needed to be. The play on the field wasn't where it needed to be. And sometimes when you point out and fire somebody in that room, you galvanize a locker room and say, whoa, we just lost one of our own. Now we have to actually focus a little bit more in these meeting rooms. We got to pay attention out there on the field. And it translated the last couple of weeks where the secondary has played significantly better.
John, I can't disagree there. Typically when a coach gets let go, what it does, it not only galvanizes a room, it wakes them up, right? It shares the reality of what it is to play in the league, coach in the league, whatever you are, whether you're a coach or player, you get held accountable at the end of the day. And when you lose, somebody has to go.
Right.
It's how it always works. So where I'm going to go with this, John, is you brought up Brad Holmes a little bit. I want to pivot to Dan Campbell. The last 2 weeks, he has avoided the headlines, avoided the spotlight. He's coached good games. He's taken field goals. I can't believe it. They're actually punting, right? They're playing conventional football, and they're winning. And they're winning, and not only are they winning, they are somehow, some way making plays when you just don't expect it, right? This is a team that gave up over 400 yards to Green Bay and then followed up with 400 to Chicago. It's not like this defense is some complete defense that has suddenly rejuvenated. They're just forcing turnovers now, and that's been their key stat the last 2 weeks. And why they're winning, have you noticed anything different inside of the building leading up to the games? Have they changed anything, or has it simply been they've kind of taken a step back, they've made things a little simpler, and they've allowed players like Aidan Hutchinson to stand up, get into the pass rush? Aquara has been a big help. Kaminsky coming back has been helpful. Is it just right place, right time for this team, and they caught Green Bay and Chicago at a good time, or are we seeing maybe just a trend that might lead the rest of the season?
No, you guys are pointing it out. Dan Campbell made a strategic difference. Obviously, that fourth down early in the game, kick the field goal, take the momentum, take the points. So Dan Campbell's aware. Look, you look at where the Lions were at and some of the decisions that Dan Campbell made being aggressive. Obviously, he wanted to kind of establish that this was going to be part of his regime, but it didn't work out. So repeatedly, when you don't see something working out, you have to pivot and make a change. But, guys, this is what's great about the National Football League is sometimes your opponent just comes in and is not playing at a great level. Nobody really would have expected, other than you, Adam, that the Packers were going to really play at a high level and defeat the Cowboys. You see the Commanders, and they go out and they defeat the Philadelphia Eagles. Any given Sunday, any given opportunity, teams can win in this league. So for the Lions against the Bears, they just shot themselves in the foot significantly less than the Bears did. Remember, Jared Goff threw a horrible pass and could have been intercepted, could have been a costly turnover, but the Bears took a penalty. So when I look at the last two games, I see better execution. I see less mistakes. I mean, the Lions had less than 4 penalties against the Bears, and they just allowed the Bears to shoot themselves in the foot time after time after time again. I sat there and said, man, this Bears team looks like the Lions. They're taking penalty after penalty, and they're not playing at a high level. So I give credit to Dan Campbell to pivot and coach at a higher level. But at the same time, in the National Football League, sometimes you catch teams that are not playing at a high level. And the Packers and the Bears, they're not really, when you look at the NFC North, it's a one-team race here, and the Lions just did enough to be able to execute and win these games late.
Another thing you can give Dan Campbell credit for, and a part of being a good coach, is developing players. And what I've seen out of Aidan Hutchinson, because I was told, not by a lot of people, because we do have a lot of smart people that watch the show, but some people claiming Aidan's a bust through 4 or 5 games, which is absolutely ridiculous. But in your opinion, his adjustment over the last couple of weeks, and specifically against the Chicago Bears, because he had the pick against Aaron Rodgers, reading the play to David Bakhtiari in the red zone. He follows it up. You saw Cole Kmet, him beating the Lions defense on a couple of the screen plays. Later in the game, Aidan adjusts, follows him on the screen, basically forces the overthrow for Jeff Okudah and gets the block for Jeff to score. What have you seen out of Aidan Hutchinson in the progression he's had? Because even before this week, he was first in rookies and quarterback pressures, first in quarterback hits, first in sacks, and it seems like he's just getting even better, John. So what are your thoughts on Aidan's play as of late, and just the game kind of slowing down for him a little bit?
Yeah, I would say, guys, that 90% or more of the Aidan Hutchinson is a bust talk might be coming from East Lansing, a certain fan base that might not be really wanting to respect seeing a Michigan player on the Lions. You can't call Aidan Hutchinson a bust after 5 games. Even I wouldn't do that, and I'm outspoken about players. So let's take that with a grain of salt. That is an agenda, obviously, that's coming from a certain segment. And I'll look at Aidan Hutchinson, and obviously, you would have liked to have seen a little bit more consistency through the first 6-7 games of his career. But when he's needed to progress, he's made the plays needed. He has not made similar mistakes. Now, the thing that you would look at with Aidan Hutchinson is that he's a rookie, and he's matching up week in, week out against top offensive linemen who are going to chip him, who are going to try and take him out of his lanes. So with Aidan Hutchinson, he's got to get better at maintaining the edge, setting the edge. There's still opportunities where he's running by quarterbacks. There's still things he can get a lot better at. But if this is the starting point for Aidan Hutchinson being impactful, just look at that play where in the game against the Bears, he obviously is able to recognize kind of where Justin Fields is at, is able to maneuver and get to where he needs to be. He's got relentless energy. He has the ability to kind of feel his way through the football game. Securing an interception against the Packers was outstanding. And you look at Aidan Hutchinson, and you got to realize, guys, that rookies in the National Football League, there's a steep learning curve in terms of the sheer amount of information that is dumped on a player. And sometimes they do scale it back a little bit to allow him to try and do different things. But I like with Aidan Hutchinson, he's versatile. You can stand him up, you can line him up, with his hands in the dirt, and he's going to make plays. So for Aidan Hutchinson, guys, let's look at it like this. The Lions had the number 2 overall pick, and they're going to get a lot of solid productivity along the defensive line, and let's hope they build around him so that he can continue to have success, because with Kaminsky there, with Pascal there, you're just going to see Aidan Hutchinson improve leaps and bounds. And next year, look out. When he adds a little bit more muscle over the next 2 or 3 years, he's going to be a force in the National Football League.
I agree with you on that, John. I'll tell you what, speaking of a top draft pick, you look at the Rams right now. They suck. And I don't use that word very often, but they really do suck. No offensive line, no run game, no receivers now with Cooper Kupp out. Odell Beckham will not save them. I don't care who they bring in. They can't trade for anybody, so it is grim in L.A. John, am I crazy to think this is going to be a top 5, top 6 pick maybe that they got from the Rams just over a year and a half ago?
Yeah, let's hope. Cooper Kupp going down with an injury. Take your time. Rehab that thing all the way until the end of the year. Matthew Stafford, poor guy, getting hit left and right. It's a Super Bowl hangover. And look, that's what the Rams did, is that they sold out for their Super Bowl ring, and now they got to pay the price. When you have players retired, they naturally move on. The loss of Von Miller is killer. So this is great. We should sit back right now. At this point, the Rams pick is higher than the Lions pick, which you can also say, too, if you guys read the reports yesterday, the Lions had an opportunity to bring on a former top defensive tackle but because they've been winning as of late, they fell down the waiver order, and he was claimed by another team that was higher and is not going to be part of the Lions. So winning comes at a cost for those of you that are in, the camp of tanking. But this football team needs to win, and this football team cannot focus so much on where their draft position is. But with the Los Angeles Rams, keep on losing. And for the Lions, if they can maneuver 2 top 15 picks in this 2023 draft, that will just only help the rebuild, because I think they're going to target, obviously, their many needs on defense. So, yes, thankfully the Rams are losing, and it's working out in the Lions' favor.
All right, well, John, I can't thank you enough. Check out all of John's work over at SI.com. The Lions, he really does an excellent job covering the team. So for all your fan nation, all Lions-related content, check out John and his great team there at Detroit Sports Podcast and really at SI. So, John, can't thank you enough for hopping on. Appreciate it as always. Let's do this soon again. Hopefully for another win. We'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. And Adam, if your fantasy team keeps winning, keep pumping out those videos. A little bit excited there to see the content that you guys are putting out.
Look, that hip thrust is elite.
You're developing. Elite hip thrust. Absolutely. Grade A, guys. You guys are doing great stuff. I love hopping on. You guys get my day off started well. So let's go Lions, and
appreciate it, John.
Maybe potentially. Hey, I hope they can win this weekend against the Giants.
Oh, we'll see. It's going to be a tough game. Tough game. We'll have to wait and see. Appreciate it, John. You have a great rest of your day, buddy.
Thanks, John.
When we get back, it's Tuesday.
Oh,
you know what we do every Tuesday? Top 10 teams in the NFL. Can't miss that list. We'll get to that in just a second, but before we do, Jeff, our good friends over at Cintron.
Cintron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings. Cintron has combined all 3 of their delicious flavors into a limited edition 6-pack sampler box. Try Cintron's great tasting cranberry, classic, and sugar-free all in one pack. You can pre-order your Cintron 6-pack sampler box today at cintronworld.com/Red Wings. Get energized with Cintron.
Thanksgiving is all about family and friends. That's why Woodward Sports wants to send you and your crew front row for the Thanksgiving Day football game.
Easy there. Hey, it's Thanksgiving. Shouldn't you be in Detroit losing a football game right now?
That's right, you and 3 people that you're thankful for sitting in row number 1. So close you can hear the action, smell the excitement, and taste the glory of Detroit football. All you have to do to enter is retweet or share our post on Twitter and IG and tag 3 of your friends or family. If all 3 of those people are following Woodward Sports too, and we pick your name, you and your crew will all get the best seats inside Ford Field. So hop on Twitter and Instagram and tag your crew. And we'll see you Thanksgiving Day at Ford Field. Brought to you by Lady Jane's and Custom Health Centers.
What's a winter wonderland if you can't shop, eat, and play? Lucky for you, you can do it all at the Downtown Detroit Markets, Cadillac Lodge, and the new winter version of the Monroe Street Midway, all located just across the street from Campus Martius Park. Find the fun at deckedoutdetroit.com.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Look at this guy. Look at him. Out of shape. 5 chins. Cheeks 10 inches wide. It's
good looking.
Jesus Christ, Ryan.
Pretty good looking guy.
Speaking of getting your ass in shape, Ryan, actually, by the way, since he took this picture, so this is before he started his custom health journey, so he signed up. He's down 15 pounds since. 15 pounds.
He looks good, man.
He looks amazing. He looks way better already. Like, this is instant. And he's healthy. It hasn't changed. No side effects. He's doing great. I am floored. I mean, look at him. Look at that stomach. That's like 8 rolls. And then you got 3 on the chin, 2 on the cheeks. God bless him. They're doing a hell of a job with Ryan. He looks a lot better now than he did a few weeks ago. Hell of a job from everybody over at Custom Health Centers. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, look, here's what we got. Side note.
Were you doing an advert or just...
Was that a roast?
Yeah, roast Ryan Armani.
Up?
I can't.
Could you shut the fuck up and mute your mic?
I can. I don't want to.
This may be your last show.
Oh, great. Good for me.
This may be your last show.
Hell yeah. Right
mute
before
your
the
mic. Mute your mic.
Oh, my God.
I actually get to sit in peace next week watching the World
Mute your
Cup
mic.
instead of have to be with you.
Mute your mic, sir. Thank you. Shut the hell up. Sit down. On the floor. On the floor. Sit down on the floor right now. All right. Here we are. Top 10 teams. Jeff,
Hi.
I disagree with your top 10 completely.
Well, that's fine.
How do you keep the Eagles at 1?
Did you see last night's game?
All right, let's get into it. Alex, go ahead, throw it up. Top 10 teams. We do this every Tuesday. Jeff, we'll start with my 10. Ravens. The Ravens over the Cowboys. I wasn't going to pull the Ravens out. For me, the Ravens are a top 10 team. They've earned it. Yes, they had a bye week. I'm not going to forget about them just because they had a bye week. The Cowboys coming off an embarrassing performance against the Packers. There's no way in hell I'd ever consider them in the top 10, but you have them, sir, so go for it.
Start at 10. I have the Dallas Cowboys. They lost to the Packers on the road at Lambeau. Listen, the way they lost, they had plenty of opportunities to win that game. They didn't. I still recognize the Cowboys are 6-3 on the season, tied with the Baltimore Ravens. I have the Baltimore Ravens a little higher, but I'm going to leave Dallas in there. I get why you're leaning Jets, but I think Dallas is just a more complete team. Although they've put out some pretty...
I don't believe it. I think they're star dependent. I think Dak is a below average quarterback right now. He's not shown me anything near his price tag, number 1. Number 2, every time his team doesn't run the ball well and play good defense, he doesn't find ways to win. He just doesn't.
Yeah, he's been struggling.
And he's
since
been
coming
struggling
back
for a year and a half now.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the Cowboys. But at
Still
number
leaning
9, I like what you did at 9. I have them a little higher. But, Jeff, you got the Niners. Go for it.
Yeah, no, the 49ers to me, I mean, they're a dark horse in the NFC. They're 5-4 right now, but we know that record's going to only improve. They win a close game this past Sunday. And to me, the 49ers are trending upwards. They're going to be a good team, and this is kind of me projecting as well. So out of all the teams that are 5-4, I do think they're the best team. So 49ers are trending upwards. I had to put them in my top 10. So
well, they had a bye week this week for me. The Jets staying at 9. They were 9 last week. They're going to stay there this week. They didn't do anything right or wrong. They were on a bye week. They got to figure out Zach Wilson. That's my only concern, but Robert Saleh's doing a hell of a job. That defense is playing exceptionally well. At 8, we both agree. Mike Vrabel, 6-3, continues to find ways to win as a head coach in the NFL. Derrick Henry, no real passing attack, but they find ways to move the ball downfield. They find ways to throw the football, and really it was their passing attack that broke Denver down towards the end, and their defense has been exceptional most of the season.
And even one of their losses, too. I mean, to go on the road against the Chiefs and keep that game as close as it was, with Malik Willis attempting, 10, 11 pass attempts. Might have been a little more than that, but still, Mike Vrabel's doing a hell of a job as a head coach. And with Ryan Tannehill back, I do believe the Tennessee Titans are trending upwards. So I got them at 8, and we agree there. Now, the rest of your list, we got to have some conversations about. Because how in the hell do the Eagles beat themselves and drop to 4? We'll get to there, though.
We'll get to
Tell me why you have the 49ers at 7.
49ers at 7, I'm with you. I'm projecting them. I think they are one of the better teams. I think they'll end up the year in the top 5. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Yeah, me either.
I think the top 5 won't stay the same. I think, honestly, 2 of the teams I have in the top 5, I'm confident will be there by the end of the year. And I think the Niners will move their way up. You got the Baltimore Ravens at 7. I like it. I respect it. I think shockingly, you have them higher than me. And I'm really big on the Baltimore Ravens, but go for it.
No, I love, listen, Lamar Jackson to me, pay this man every dollar amount he deserves, guaranteed. Get it done. Lamar Jackson to me is a hell of a player. He's kept this team where they are, 6-3 currently on the season, number 1 in their division. So give the Baltimore Ravens credit. Even without the weapons, they didn't have Andrews, they didn't have Rashad Bateman. They found a way to win. I'm giving them credit. Mark Andrews will be back eventually. So they're set. They're a top 7 team to me right now, Adam. They're trending upwards. They're coming off a 3-game winning streak. So.
Makes sense to me. The next team on my list, 6, the Bills. I'm punishing them this week. This is now.
How do you have the Bills behind the Giants?
Because give me. I'll tell you why.
That's your homework assignment. Explain that to me.
I can't fathom. It doesn't make sense to me that the Bills have had Josh Allen for as long as they have.
Yeah.
They've had the firepower on offense they've had. Mm-hmm. They've had the defensive upgrades they've had for all these years. And they haven't figured out how to run the ball. I don't like Superman Josh Allen. That doesn't make me comfortable as a coach, as a GM, or anything. I don't like seeing Josh Allen have to lead the team in rushing. That's not ideal. Just because he can do it doesn't mean it's sustainable, let alone it wins you games. And he's been turning the ball over a lot recently.
Yeah.
I don't like the way the Bills are playing football right now. I don't. You can't run the football. Good luck winning in the playoffs. You have to be able to run the football. When I say run the football, Jeff, I mean hand it off to Devin Singletary.
What about scoring points? Because the Giants have only scored 27 once this entire season.
Absolutely, but they're giving up less than 20 points a game. And they have a consistent way of playing, though, Jeff, right?
I know, they do.
The Giants, I know what I'm getting. I know I'm not getting a high-powered offense. I know I'm not getting Daniel Jones up the middle on 3rd and 17 to run for a first down. I know that. I know they're a gritty, run-first football team that plays good defense, plays field position, and takes points when they get them. I understand that. I don't know what the Bills are right now. I know they're one of the better teams in the NFL. I know they have Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. I know they got a very, very good defense. You can't run the football. And when you can't run the football, you become predictable. And when you become predictable, you put your quarterback in vulnerable situations. I'm not a fan of how the Bills are playing. You want to talk about 2 teams 7-6 on my list that I think will finish the year in the top 5? Bills are there. Don't get me wrong. But they got to figure out their run game before I sit there and give them their credit to fame and that they're a top 5 team right now, because they got to run the ball. And until they do, Josh Allen's going to continue to play like this. That's where I'm at.
Okay, I can see. I still disagree. I got the Giants at 6. Giants have been playing good football. Like you said, they're finding ways to win. They're basically playing opponents to their own game. Every opponent they face pretty much low scoring. Defense has been playing well. Daniel Jones hasn't been turning the ball over. Saquon looks like, he's the best running back right now in the NFL, so give him credit there. I could see why you have the Giants. At least I have them at 6, you have them at 5. Not going to disagree, but I don't think the Giants are better than the 5 teams in front of them, and we'll get to it shortly. So I got Miami at 5, undefeated with Tua in the lineup. Their 3 losses without Tua. They're trending upwards to me. This is a team that I could see being a top 4, top 5 team. We'll see how they end up the season, but right now Miami looks like a legit team out of the AFC, so they deserve to be on that list for me.
I would agree. I don't mind your list at all. I got the Giants at 5. I already gave you basically every reason in the book why they're 5. Oh, by the way, they're 7-2. More wins than the Bills, more wins than the Niners, more wins than the Titans, more wins than the Jets, more wins than the Ravens. They deserve that spot. Number 4, I'm punishing them this week. The Philadelphia Eagles. Not because I'm very aware, believe me, I had fantasy football implications last night. I understand how Philly lost and why they lost and how frustrating it is, and 2 bogus calls and the non-face mask call. I get it. And they made a lot of mistakes, Jeff. And when I think of the best team in the league, I don't think of a team that is making a lot of mistakes, a team that is causing or forcing unwarranted penalties. I saw a lot of penalties yesterday. I saw a lot of mistakes. I saw a lot of kind of we're better than this team, we should win mentality from the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't like that. I am going to punch them this week because I think the 3 teams I have ahead of them would all beat them tomorrow. And yes, including the Vikings, who the Eagles stomped on.
All right.
So go for it. Number 4, you get the Bills.
Yeah, the Bills. Listen, as ugly as that loss was, the Miami Dolphins, they had that. I mean, that game was pretty much over with Josh Allen in the red zone. All he had to do was get a yard or 2, keep the clock going, but no, he fumbles the ball. There you have it. In overtime, they still have a chance to tie the game in overtime and possibly win. And Josh Allen throws an interception to Patrick Peterson. So the Bills have continued to shoot themselves in the foot. Even their loss to the Miami Dolphins, their loss to the New York Jets, those 2 games were 3-point games. So they've had some close losses. I mean, they're a couple decisions away from being undefeated, but it is what it is. I get what you're saying. The Bills got to learn how to run the ball. They can't be Josh Allen dependent, but I'm still having them in my they're still in my top 4 to me. So
all right, top 3. I'll round out mine, and then you round out yours. We both agree the Vikings at 3. No. There's really no
ahead of the
argument
Bills.
there.
They beat the Bills.
They beat the Bills. They're 8-1. You can argue, well, they won all their games by 1 possession. They're winning. They're winning. And in close games where you don't associate Kirk Cousins with winning, they're winning. Kevin O'Connell, what do you know? My pick for Coach of the Year. What do you know? What a shock.
Yeah.
8-1.
I'm still leaning Dable.
Oh, he deserves it. Dable deserves it more than anybody right now.
Yeah, he's
doing
a hell of a job.
But we gave preseason. I told you O'Connell, so that's all. Number 2, I got the Dolphins. I know you have them at 5, 7-0. That was the key stat, with Tua starting and finishing the game.
Yeah.
The Miami Dolphins, I could argue right now, are the 3rd or 4th most complete roster in the NFL. They have the dynamic running back duo, Mostert, Jeff Wilson. They have Tua, the most accurate quarterback in the NFL. That's not a statement, that's a fact.
Yeah, statistically, yeah.
He is one of the most winning quarterbacks since coming into the league in the NFL. That's not an opinion, that's a fact. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, arguably the best wide receiver tandem in the NFL.
Yeah.
Is there a better duo? I don't know of it. They've got a very good offensive line, a very good defense. They added Bradley Chubb, Xavier Howard on the corner. They've got players.
They can run the ball.
This football team, in my opinion, is the 2nd best football team. And the only thing stopping me from putting them at 1 is Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. It's that simple. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs win again. They keep finding ways to win. And they haven't even hit their full stride. You saw what Kadarius Toney could do in that offense. This is a team that I think will probably struggle the next week or 2, but will end the season very hot, and they're likely going to secure that number 1 seed in the AFC. Jeff?
Well, for me, we'll go to my next team. I have the Kansas City Chiefs at 2, and the reason for that is everything you kind of just alluded to. I get why you have them at 1. They've been playing great, but overall, just the way they've won some of these games too, like barely beating the Tennessee Titans with Malik Willis. As impressive as the Chiefs are, 7-2. Currently, they're on a 3-game winning streak. I just don't think they're not a more complete team than the Eagles. And I guess the Eagles' loss, you could argue, is, I hate saying this, but one of the most impressive losses. I mean, the way they lost, 2 turnovers down the stretch, the penalties that they did not get in their favor, it is what it is. Commanders, they were the better team that day. They made more plays, especially down the stretch. But the Eagles, to me, I'm not going to sit here after 1 game, and especially how they lost, and just take away everything they've earned all season. So to me, they're still the best team. We'll see how it trends. They still have some tough teams they got to play later down the stretch. But as of right now, I'm leaving the Eagles 1 and I'm keeping the Chiefs at 2. But I get it. If you want to go strictly quarterback, no doubt, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, they're the best team. Those 2 combined. But overall, the Eagles to me are still in that spot until proven otherwise. But we'll see how they trend.
All right, well, look, let's take a quick break. When we get back, we'll go around the NFL. Coaches on the hot seat, teams trending upwards, player news. We'll get to the NFL in just a little bit, but before we do, Jeff, our good friends over at Guardian Alarm.
Well, we talk about defenses and trending upwards. Guardian Alarm is one of those defenses because, guys, if you want to get peace of mind while you're inside, staying away from the cold weather, call Guardian Alarm. 1-800-STAY-OUT, and you can rest easy knowing you have 24/7 protection. That's 1-800-STAY-OUT. Let them know your friends at Woodward Sports sent you.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy, better sleep, blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
All right, let me tell you guys about Moneyball Sportswear, premier athletic sportswear, the best fits, the best outfits. Go to moneyballsportswear.com. All promo material using Woodward will be shipped free. So make sure you check them out, go to their website, and get the latest apparel for your team needs. We are back here on the Morning Woodward Show, live, woodwardsports.com. Oh, God. What's up, Jeff?
What's going on?
What's up, Jeff? All right. Hot seat. Right now, Josh McDaniels, fired, yes or no?
Yeah.
Should be?
I mean, it's bad what's going on in Las Vegas. I mean, for them to not be able to put it together. I mean, this is Josh McDaniels' MO, offense, and what they have offensively. Devonta Adams is frustrated, Derek Carr is frustrated. You've seen flashes of Josh Jacobs, but that offensive line is abysmal. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, especially defensively. I mean, coming into the season, you signed Chandler Jones. You expect this team to be much better than they currently are. We talked about their division being the toughest division in football, and at this point, it's really been the complete opposite. The Raiders and the Broncos are both disasters, and you can make an argument.
Nathaniel Hackett should be fired as well.
Those two guys are probably Cliff Kingsbury. I would say we used to talk to him as the number one coach.
4-6. They just
pause. I'm not saying he should be fired.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying I'm comparing. If we talked about Cliff being the one that's on the hot seat early in the season. He's probably, third or fourth?
He's definitely in the top five. If they lose the next few games, he's done. If they somehow find their way, they're 4-6. But
Hackett and McDaniels,
6-6.
Hackett and McDaniels are 1 and 2 to me.
Well, you know what? Now. Arizona don't have any excuses because they have a very favorable schedule coming up. They've got They've got the Niners at home Monday night. That'll be a challenge. But then they get, I'm choking. Then they get the Chargers, the Patriots, the Broncos, the Bucks, the Falcons. Then, of course, they end the year with the Niners.
Yeah.
They can 8 and 9, 9 and 8 might get you in, depending on where the Seahawks fall. I think the Seahawks do fall off. The problem is the Cardinals lost to the Seahawks, so that's not looking good for them. Not looking good at all.
But those coaches are forefront to me in terms of being on the hot seat. No question. And they're trending downwards. The Raiders and the Broncos. And the Raiders, I mean, talk about from an ownership perspective, having a quick trigger. How many different coaches the Raiders have had in the last 25 years? And now Josh McDaniels is probably treading that direction. Like, some coaches are just better off as OCs. And to me, that's Josh McDaniels. Hell of an OC, just can't put it together as a head coach. And his stint so far with the Las Vegas Raiders, it's not a good piece to put on your resume moving forward to be another head coach. So I'll say that. My assumption is he returns back to New England at the end of the year. I don't think he'll be around much longer, to be honest with you, from what I've seen out of this Raiders team. Because there's been some ugly losses, even the one to the Kansas City Chiefs, and how that game trended late, the way they lost. Like, some of these losses are just inexcusable. And you have Derek Carr crying at the podium. Like, it's a disaster. We talk about coaches losing the locker room. I don't know. I'm not in Las Vegas. I don't know the intricacies of what they're going through, the details. But all I know is it ain't good, and they're trending downwards. So same with the Broncos. Like, you come off a bye week, and you lose in that fashion to the Tennessee Titans. I get Tennessee's a good team, but my God, you had a whole week for a bye to work on what you want to do offensively, and they're still just as bad. So Nathaniel Hackett, he's probably another guy they're going to shoot out of a cannon. So Hackett and McDaniels, to me, are 1 and 2. Pick your poison.
Fair enough. Let's go to a coach who I'm very happy for. Interim coach, by the way. Jeff Saturday. Got his first win.
Yeah.
What do you think with the Colts the rest of the year? Sustainable?
I mean,
no Shaq Leonard.
Yeah.
He's done.
Still a pretty good football team.
Still a solid core.
Really.
Offensive line will control games. I think they're going to be in a lot of close games down the stretch.
And that was Saturday's role, too. He came in, he held the offensive line accountable. Those guys have played well, at least last game against the Raiders, but it is the Raiders. We'll see how they trend. But Saturday's job, I don't think, is necessarily all on the win-loss record. It's about keeping these guys together, not losing the locker room. And I know those guys play hard for him, man. I love what Saturday's doing. For all the criticism he got for getting that job, there's no question he can coach. We'll just see how it trends, and we'll see if he gets the job for an extended period if he signs a long-term contract. But I like what Saturday's doing so far, man. He got Jonathan Taylor, that offensive line, back to their original form. Matt Ryan had one of his better games of the year. We saw at the beginning of the week when Jeff Saturday was announced, Ellinger was the starting quarterback, and Saturday even said, he said in an interview with Pat McAfee, I wanted the best 11 to play. Matt Ryan was a part of that best 11, so he got the start. I think the Colts are trending upwards. We'll see how they land, but as of right now, they're a pretty good football team. Or I should say a decent football team at this very moment.
Fair enough. Well, look, let's take a quick break. When we get back, we'll go over some fantasy football matchups. Jeff and I played each other last night. Who won? That and so much more. And then, of course, we'll wrap it up with Mailbag. But before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at Big Boy.
Well, guys, November 22nd, in only about 7-8 days, is the 99-cent Big Boy Day with the purchase of a Pepsi. Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy. Visit bigboy.com for full details and participating locations.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Chili Pepper Standing is where you'll find all the cleanest salons in the D with spotless, sanitized rooms and trained and certified tanning professionals. Join the Pepper Club for all the best deals. They'll beat all competitors by $5. ChiliPepperStanding.com. Hottest bulbs, hottest deals, darkest tans. Your Vitamin D headquarters, 27 locations, and more on the way.
Chili Pepper Stand.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show, live, woodwardsports.com. Jeff, can you kind of give me a breakdown of, what Antonio Gibson means to you as a human and how he makes you feel, buddy? Because last I checked, excuse me, let me scroll on my phone here. Oops.
You suck.
Are we 10 games into the year already? Oh, wait, cheers to another hard-fought week. Thank you, ESPN app. Oh, wait, 126 to 117. Jeff, you lost? I'm on a 7-game winning streak. I'm 9-1. Is this correct? Uh-oh.
I'll let you have your moment.
Uh-oh.
No, don't let him have any
No,
moment.
wait.
Most points in the league? Oh, wait, what?
Fish, I am the defending reigning champ of the Woodward Sports League.
He
so
is. He gets that right. You
can suck my ass. And still then.
Oh, God.
But I will give it to you. Yeah, I was up 7 points in me and Adam's league. All he had was Antonio Gibson. And, hey, Phillies
sucked last
Well, their
night.
weakness all year has been running the football on them, and that's exactly what the Commanders did. They gave 20-something carries to Brian Robinson. They gave 15 carries to Gibson. They only got like 3 yards per carry, but in those many attempts at him, and he got the touchdown. After he scored the touchdown, I was checked out. All right, you won. I'm done. I'm done.
It has been a fun ride. I got freaking Jalen Waddle on a bye week this week. Should be interesting. I'll probably start Palmer. But yeah, man, my team sucks. It really does. I don't know how I'm 9-1.
Shut up.
Because I have Josh Allen, Justin Jefferson, Waddle, and Kelsey. That's it.
Josh Allen.
Edmonds is my running back along with Gibson.
Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's whatever, man.
He's whatever.
Yeah, fuck you guys.
You got a pretty good damn team. Josh Allen,
God.
Waddle, Justin Jefferson, Travis Kelsey.
Oh God.
Pretty good squad.
It doesn't suck. I think, let me see who has most points in our league, by the way. Jeff has most points. And then it's Bruno. No, Bruno does. Yo, he's in the chat, too. Roman Bruno, 1282. And Jeff, you have 1267. I got 1252. No way.
Listen, I'm not trying to pull excuses, but I didn't have Kyler Murray or Mark Andrews. So hopefully those guys get back this week.
You hang out at events with your other friends. You're all there. You're having a good time, whatever. It's all good. And then, of course, you play him this week in fantasy football. And, again, you tolerate him. It's not like he's your boy. You like him. You don't mind him.
Right.
If he was, on the side of the road in a rainy day and there was a puddle in front of him and he had his thumbs up, you would probably, drive your car and splash him, right? Because that's what I would do. And this scumbag beat me because Dallas Goedert decided to fumble on a face mask.
It was face mask.
It was not called at all.
Clear as day, by the way.
And here we are. Tuesday morning, I am a loser in my big money league. I'm still in the playoff spot, so I'm not too concerned there. I have the 4th most points scored in the league, but I've also given up the 3rd most points in my league. So it's just that kind of year. What do you do, right?
Right.
But I'm feeling confident. I just submitted a trade offer. I submitted Alvin Kamara and Dallas Goedert for Travis Kelce.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll wait and see and hope and pray.
That's what I love about fantasy too. It's like you can check every single box, and things might not still go your way. And that's what happened last night. Like, technically, yeah, you probably should have won, but fumbling, lost your 2 points, a lot of missed opportunities.
No, so what happened was it negated. I lost like 0.8 really on the play, but had he caught it,
oh, true, because he caught like a 15-yard.
So he caught it. It was like 7-8 yards. What would have happened was I would have been down, or no, I think I would have been up by like 0.1. But here we are.
Takes it away. You lose your opportunity.
Brutal.
Then you have Quez Watkins fumbling.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
That's how the cards play out, man.
All right, well, look. We got Mailbag coming up. Start getting your questions in the chat from now. We will take a quick break when we get back. Mailbag. So drop your questions in the Woodward Sports chat. Jeff and I will answer them. All that and more. But before we do, Jeff, our good friends over at Swiss Insurance.
Well, Swiss Insurance Group and their employees are heavily involved in their community. Although it is very rewarding, it also comes with great responsibility. If you sit on a local youth sports board, homeowners association, or a volunteers coach, directors and officers insurance is a must. Make sure the kids, parents, and volunteers are protected. Call our friends at Swiss Insurance today.
Thanksgiving is all about family and friends. That's why Woodward Sports wants to send you and your crew front row for the Thanksgiving Day football game.
Easy there. Hey, it's Thanksgiving. Shouldn't you be in Detroit losing a football game right now?
That's right, you and 3 people that you're thankful for sitting in row number 1. So close you can hear the action, smell the excitement, and taste the glory of Detroit football. All you have to do to enter is retweet or share our post on Twitter and IG and tag 3 of your friends or family. If all 3 of those people are following Woodward Sports too, and we pick your name, you and your crew will all get the best seats inside Ford Field. So hop on Twitter and Instagram and tag your crew. And we'll see you Thanksgiving Day at Ford Field. Brought to you by Lady Jane's and Custom Health Centers.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Downtown Detroit is all decked out this holiday season with the return of the Cadillac Lodge and Monroe Street Midway. The Midway has a giant slide, winter bumper cars, and an indoor arcade. Plus, you can grab drinks at the Lodge before or after the games. Shop, eat, and play downtown all winter long with Decked Out Detroit and our good friends over at Bedrock Detroit. 9:50.
We'll start. I got a question.
Tuesday morning. Live. I beat you in fantasy.
Shut up.
Good morning. Go for it.
First question. Jack Arrington, Mailbag. What are the standings of your WSN Fantasy Football League currently? I think it's like...
I'll pull it up.
Me and you are in different divisions.
You are top of your division. I'm top of mine, like always. This happened last year. Me and you were in opposite divisions, and we won it all. I'm 9-1. Spencer's in second place at 6-4 in my division. And then there's a 3-way tie between Justin, Roman, and Flannel at 5-5. And then Lentz at 2-8. And then in your division, it's you at 7-3, Roman, the other Roman, and Sean Murphy at 5-5, and then Jonah and Gentry at 4-6, and then Braylon at 3-7. So my division is much harder than yours. But here I am, 9-1.
Yeah,
standing on top like a champ.
Take your victory lap. I'll let you have it. I'm a humble guy.
Oh God.
Paul Johnson asked, Mailbag, if the Lions end up with picks 8 and 11, where do they sit now? Who do you take? Or who do they take?
Who do they take?
I guess we'll talk position. Like, what would be the two positions you take?
8 and 11 is not ideal. I do want the higher draft pick. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see how the board plays out. Jalen Carter is going to be a top 5 pick, isn't he?
Yeah.
2 quarterbacks are going. Anderson and Carter are going. I mean, those are the players you want.
If you're picking 8 and 11, you're probably going corner.
You're definitely going corner, whether it's Joey Porter Jr. or
Ringo if he's there.
Or Ringo.
He's a hell of a corner. And then the next pick, you'd probably go edge rusher, in my opinion.
Yeah, we'll see. That's a tough one to answer right now. Who's hated more in Detroit, the Patriots or the Bears? I would say the Bears.
Oh, definitely. The Bears.
Watch this. See how easy this is. FTB. Put it in the chat. Every single one of you. Go ahead. Fuck the Bears.
Yeah, that is true.
Throw it in the chat.
Very, very true.
You'll see in a second. Where do you think OBJ will end up playing, and will he help them go to the Super Bowl? I'm going to say OBJ goes to the Buffalo Bills.
I'll go Giants.
Ooh, what? Return home?
Return home.
I don't know about that.
They're winning, and he would have a significant role with that team. So they would. The Bills, I could see that as well. If I had to put it quite frankly, it'd probably be the Bills or the Giants. Okay. I would pick the Giants over the Cowboys. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, I'd pick anybody over the Cowboys.
I'd
rather sign with the Lions right now than the Cowboys. I just don't like the Cowboys at all. Do you guys think the Lions will move on from Okudah at the end of the year to save some money for the cap, or do they restructure his deal?
Honestly, I don't mind. Romeo Okudah, I feel like, is one of the quick-to-forget guys on this team. Like, as much, I get he hasn't been available. He's coming off that Achilles injury. But when he was healthy, he had 10 sacks. And the year prior, he had like 7 sacks. So he's a productive edge rusher. I would like to see him here, but we'll see. Maybe they restructure his deal. I think that's up to Brad. But I don't mind him being here. I really don't.
Where can we buy the fish hoodie with your face on it? Shop.woodwardsports.com.
You can get it. Beautiful hoodie, by the way.
Go get Fish Shut the Hell Up merchandise. Right, Fish?
Sure, yes. Correct.
How you doing this morning? You recovered from our little argument?
I did. I recovered.
All right. You better?
I'm always great.
Have you calmed down?
Are
you going to stop yelling?
No, but...
Oh, God.
What about this one? When do you see J-Mo making his debut, and do you think he'll make a huge impact?
He'll make an impact.
I think he'll make an impact. No question. Yeah.
I don't know about huge.
Why you take him that early?
December. I would say December.
Yeah, that's what the rumors are.
That's what it's looking like.
Maybe,
that's what they're
maybe at home towards. Against the Jaguars. That's an opportunity. That's December, because that's after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I could buy it. A little more rest. Yeah, I could buy that.
Somewhere in December.
We needed the Cowboys to lose, and we need to beat the Giants to have a shot towards the playoffs. Nicholas, you have no shot at the playoffs, my friend. Can I get the camera on me real quick? I gotta have a heart-to-heart with Nicholas.
Is this an old
here.
takes exposed?
Nicholas?
Bad takes exposed? Right
Nicholas, my friend. Hi. Hope you're having a great morning. Your team is 3-6, okay? The Niners currently hold the 7th spot at 5-4. The 7th spot this year in the NFC likely will be 9-7, or excuse me, 9-8. Maybe even 10-7. Who knows? Those 7 teams right now that are in are pretty much locks to get in. They are all very good teams. Having said that, Nicholas, my friend, take your head. I want you to kind of remove it from your ass a little bit.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So you can kind of, sniff, breathe something that's not your ass. And let's bring everything back on the rails and catch up with the reality. You're 3-6.
But Nicholas, you're not
finishing
wrong.
The year 6-3.
He's not technically by the numbers. They're in the hunt.
Dan Campbell finishes 6-3. It would be arguably one of the most impressive seasons ever by a Lions head coach. I just doubt it.
Never count out MCDC.
Yeah.
I'm dead. All right, what do we got here?
Jamcat says, Adam and Jeff, why do you believe that the morning show is the best show WSN has? ? Honorable mention, Woodward Heavyweights. What does that mean? Is that a question?
I think it's a statement.
Yeah, well, I think that was a question.
He said, why do you believe? Like, he's like,
why do I believe? Because that's what the numbers say. But
Well, they're probably asking you what your show does better than some of the other
think, you know,
three
me and Jeff
shows.
have good chemistry. We obviously love you, Fish. I think you're a big part of it.
That's nice
I
of
love
you.
telling you to shut the hell up. You drive me
Wow,
crazy. Then you have
nice.
Alex, you know, over there just, you know, doing whatever he does. Yeah, look, I mean, I think our show's cool. You know, we like to interact with everybody.
But I think he's asking what makes you different than, you know,
Fish,
the 11 to 1. Neil, D-Mac,
Yeah, I mean,
Terry
we're all
Foster,
individual. We're all individual people,
That's
right?
what makes the network so great.
Will and Ryan
You
Armani
pick your poison.
Mazaway.
Yeah, I don't know how to answer that. I really
Plenty of
don't.
options. Plenty of options.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the humble route and not answer that right now.
Okay.
So we're just gonna say like,
Look
we're all
at I
different.
like this Mike G question.
Go for
Adam, will you officially switch to University of Michigan next year?
No,
the
I'm
doors
not
are
gonna
wide
do this
open
next
in
year.
Ann Arbor,
No,
sir.
I'm not doing this next year. I love being the. I love the fact that I didn't go to either school and I don't have any pull for either school. It makes my job a lot easier and it makes it more fun. So yeah, I'm definitely not supporting either school next year. That's gonna be a hell no.
Hey, Nicholas Duncan says I drink a lot of Kool-Aid, my friends. Shout out to Nicholas. He's manning up. He's telling you I drink a lot of Kool-Aid.
When the
How do
season
you
started, it was said that if the Lions were in the hunt for a spot, it would be improvement. Are we finally able to say the Lions turned the page? No, dude, they're 3-6. Jesus Christ! If you are 5-7, you're in the hunt. You're not. We're not there yet.
Not yet.
In the hunt is in December. You're on that little graphic, but with an actual chance. Not 5 games out, but you're on the graphic because the whole league sucks.
Let's say they go 1-1 over the next 2.
That would be impressive.
They
I'd be impressed. I'd be impressed
Okay.
if they go 1-1
So
over
you're
the
not
next
there
2.
yet.
No,
I respect
it's
that,
early,
yeah.
man. We're not even in December.
I know.
You talked to me about wild card in December.
And look at the NFC. I mean, you're
If you said tell me November, I think it's mid-November now.
we're getting there. We said Thanksgiving, actually.
you're a
But yeah.
game and a half behind
Okay.
like 5 teams. So you got to give it more time.
Let's see. 1 year and done with Adham with MSU. He knows they're going to perpetually suck. No, I actually think MSU will have a bounce back year next year. And I think the last 2 games are an indictment and really a credit to Mel Tucker and his staff. They followed up a brutal off-the-field incident with 2 wins. And they are looking at bowl eligibility right in the face right now. They got 1 more game, and then they got Penn State on the road.
Yeah.
I think Michigan State, if they somehow finish with 7 wins, I would be very impressed. I believe Adam is a fellow U of M Dearborn alumni. I did not graduate, guys. I think you need to understand this about me. I did go to U of M Dearborn for like 2 semesters, maybe 3, mostly part-time. I was there with my wife, or fiance, engaged at the time, but, you know, get the point, right? I went to Wayne State, I think, for like a semester or 2.
Wayne State, go
Yeah, Wayne
Warriors.
State for a semester or 2, and then U of M a semester or 2, and then I was done. I was done with it.
I like this question. Mailbag from our guy Eric. Mailbag, what do you think the Pistons starting lineup should be when Cade comes back? I actually don't mind how it's constructed currently. You just kind of replace Killian with Cade. If you have a lineup of Cade, Jaden, Bojan, Marvin Bagley, and Isaiah Stewart, I actually can get behind that. I don't mind it. I do like it. Give Sadiq more time with the second unit. He gets a little
How
more
cold
freedom.
were those jerseys last night?
Oh, they were nice. I love that the Pistons are paying homage to, you know, just the roots of Detroit and where basketball's come from. So I got a lot of love, man. Big Sean's doing a hell of a job with this team and their the way they're going with these jerseys. I actually don't mind them at all.
I love this
thought they looked
question
great.
from NFL Draft Junkie. Adam, who is at the top of your list for the title of Booger Sugar, in parentheses, cocaine in 2023?
My 2 aren't even quarterbacks.
I'm going to give 3. I'm going to give 3 guys that I am like, just
like an honorable mention to me would be Bryce, but really it's Will Anderson and Jalen Carter. Those 2 are the cocaine.
They are the prized possessions, but I'm gonna give you a little different one. I'm gonna give you
or Miles Murphy,
Jalen Carter. I love you.
Yeah.
Miles Murphy. I mean, Will Anderson and the quarterbacks. It's kind of like easy for me to throw in there. I don't want to do that. I want to give you like 3. God, Adam, think. I don't like it. Who do I like at 3rd?
The cocaine.
Is Marvin Harrison draft eligible?
Not yet.
So next year he will
Yeah.
be. So Smith and Jimbo will be draft eligible, but he's got injuries. I'm going to give you the 2. Carter and Miles Murphy. Those are my 2 right now. I'm not going to give you Anderson, Stroud, and Bryce Young. Those are the obvious answers. I'm not doing it. Can't give you a 3rd, though, right now. I haven't even started with draft season. We're out! You all have a great rest of your Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow, Wednesday morning, 8 a.m. live, sharp. Make sure you all enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. I am going to go sulk in my loss. You all have a blessed day. Drive safe.
Happy Tuesday. Watch FA Cup. How do you not?